everybody. It's been a little bit because me and my daughter have been around visiting family for the last 2 months while my husband holds down the fort. But I just figured I'd share how the garden's looking right now and what I need to do to winterize it. But as you can see, the meadow kind of took everything over. This is the potato bed right here. I just went through the other day and harvested all the potatoes, which we didn't think there was going to be any because when I left in July, the plants were dying, and so we figured, well, that's a bust. We'll have no potatoes, but we actually had a pretty good harvest of potatoes. Nothing really had grown in this bed. There was I believe a couple charred. The strawberries are at the end here. I'm actually going to be taking a bunch of cardboard here soon and just flattening all this out and just try to kill that grass back out before the next growing season. The pots, I was surprised to see that there was still some pansies in here. I think they're finally gone now. We've been starting to get freezing. That one looks like it's still alive. There's just no flowers on it. And I think this is a chard hanging on, little rainbow chard. That is all growing over. We did have some tomatoes in there. The tomatoes didn't do so hot. Got my rhubarb here that's starting to die off. I need to trim the dead leaves off, get those in the compost, winterize this for the winter. I was confused on what to, this is supposed to be a very hardy plant that can survive in our area. We're about a zone 4, and I believe the rhubarb goes down to zone 3, so it's supposed to do well. There was a lot of people saying you dig it up for the winter though, but purpose of why I was growing it is that it is a perennial, and so I'm just going to winterize it, maybe cover it when we hit some real cold temperatures and go from there. Got our other potato bed over there that also did pretty well. We harvested the last of the chard out of here, but we still have all these onions that I need to get out of the ground. They're still doing pretty well. And then we got our raspberry plants. This is going to be way too small of a bed for them, but I don't think I have to do much maintenance with these. They're already pretty much mulched. The wild raspberry never took. This little raspberry plant, it looks like it had a little growth this year, but nothing big, so maybe it'll pop back next year. So it's mainly these two on the other side did really well. Just been gathering all the garden supplies so I can get those put away. I've already been going through the beds and throwing all the scraps onto the compost. I want to go ahead and just go through all 3 of these bins and combine them all into one bin so we can start over fresh and start filling those back up. And then this bed had a lot of the zucchini that did really well. Apparently the rodents or whatever would creep into the garden really liked the yellow zucchini, but would leave the green zucchini alone, which I find interesting. We harvested our cabbage patch. And again, I'm going to lay some cardboard down and flatten all this out to get it ready for next year. But the cabbages did pretty decent. We had some more zucchini and a pumpkin plant over here. We actually got, let's see, 5, 6, 7 pumpkins off of, I think it was just one plant. There might have been a second one. My husband was the one harvesting. There was peas on the fence there, and they're long gone. And so it was a pretty decent harvest, and like I said, I was gone for a couple months, so things kind of got overgrown. My husband had other priorities as he was taking care of things. So I just need to go through, winterize the rhubarb. Like I said, I believe the raspberries are good to go. Try to help these little strawberries out and choke out some of the grass. that is surrounding them, so they have some fresh ground for next year to grow on. And we'll start again next year. What are you doing? Is it cold? Do we need to go in the house? Oh, you're silly. Yeah, well, while we were traveling around those 2 months, I was working on this girl's channel. So if you like German Shepherds, I got a lot of footage of her while we were traveling around in Idaho and Utah. And we did a lot of fun things, huh? But that's about it for this video. I need to get the goats in here to help mow some of this stuff down. And we'll see you in the next video.